I have a love-hate relationship with NFTs. I love how it operates like a chamber of commerce, and sometimes if you buy the right one, it's indeed like winning a lottery ticket. But I hate how illiquid it is. If you have a JPEG for sale, sometimes you might need to wait for days or weeks to find a buyer. And not to mention, you have to sell the entire art piece instead of just 0.01 of the whole thing because I come from a traditional crypto token trading background. That's where DN44 steps in, promising a much better solution to our current NFTs. But before we get into DN44, let's now talk about its predecessor, ERC44. Launched by Pandora back in February 2024, ERC44 aimed to blend the worlds of ERC20 tokens and ERC721 NFTs. Sounds great in theory, right? Well, not so fast. There are some very concerning problems with ERC44 like security and gas fees. To know more in depth about ERC44, I suggest you watching this video right here. But in one simple sentence, DN44 is tackling all the issues surrounding ERC44. So what are these huge problems of ERC44, you ask? You see, both ERC and DN44 are trying to tackle the liquidity problem of NFTs. ERC44 was designed to combine the features of ERC20 and ERC721. However, the rollout of this new standard faced significant issues from the outset. The launch of ERC44 led to a significant surge in gas fee, casting doubts on its practicality and effectiveness. To put it in perspective, an average transfer using ERC44 requires about 125,000 gas units, which is more than 3 times the gas needed for an average ERC721A transfer. This high cost raised questions about the real-world utility of ERC44. And let's not forget, ERC44 is not an official standard yet. Well, you could argue, well, Jimmy, neither is DN44, but the difference lies in the name of ERC, which has pissed off a lot of Ethereum developers because it's somewhat misleading to the public. Therefore, speculation is that ERC44 might never get the official approval from the Ethereum Foundation. Compounding these issues were serious security vulnerabilities within the protocol. It was later revealed that the developers had used ChatGPT to help write the code. While it's definitely very time-saving, I have no doubt to that, but then of course it was exploited after creation. Now that we know the problems of ERC44, let's dive into the next best alternative in the market, DN44. So what is DN44? Obviously, its emergence is to overcome the shortcomings of ERC44. Developers are pseudonymous, but there seem to be a bunch of Ethereum developer guys. You can check the Twitter usernames here. I'm not going to read out all of them, but let's get to the gist. How is DN44 different? One of the fundamental aspects of DN44 is its contract structure. Unlike how ERC44 combined ERC20 and ERC721 into a single framework, DN44 opts for a clear separation between the two contracts. By using 2 contracts instead of 1, DN44 aims to return everything to a more conventional setup where each contract functions independently while still utilizing shared 404 rails underneath. This would give DN44 3 major benefits. First and foremost is with enhanced security. By separating the 2 contracts and introducing standardized perimeters, it will facilitate developer work and ensure consistency between applications. This means a much more enhanced security compared to ERC's single contract approach. Secondly is with transaction costs. The contract separation method will save an estimate of 20% in transaction fees compared to ERC44 approach based on what DN44 developers said. Thirdly is with fractionalization, because you see, NFTs and liquidity don't usually go hand in hand. Because I've been there before where I was looking to sell my NFT but there isn't any volume, then you're left with 2 options. either holding for days or weeks to find a seller or sell below the floor price. DN44 allows users to trade portions of NFTs without using intermediaries and enables NFTs to be traded on both NFT exchanges and decentralized exchanges. This opens up new possibilities for both creators and collectors in the NFT ecosystem, providing more flexible and efficient transactions. And in terms of real-world use cases, since it focuses on bringing liquidity to NFTs, this will unlock trillions of dollars. Well, come on, Jamie, trillions of dollars? How so? I think this is possible because I can totally see RWAs utilizing the whole 4-4 method in the backend. Tokenization lets investment firms turn real-world assets like stocks, commodities, and real estate into digital tokens using DN44. Imagine you own a house worth $1 million, but you just need 10K very quickly due to emergency. It wouldn't make sense to sell the whole house for that, right? With DN44, you can just sell 1% of your house. This way, you can still own your property and maintain exposure to 99% of its value, whether it goes up or down. Although it's worth mentioning that this doesn't mean fractional ownership of the asset itself, rather, it allows you to fractionally sell the value of the asset to multiple buyers, none of whom own the actual asset outright. Take Bored Apes, for example, which have a total of 10,000 NFTs. That means only a max of 10,000 people can own them. DN44 changes the game by introducing a token supply, which allows more holders to participate without being restricted by the fixed number of NFTs. This is a major improvement because it simplifies listing on centralized exchanges, and we all know that's where the major volume is coming from, right? You can quickly sell parts of your NFTs on a DEX or SEX at the current price of the associated ERC20 tokens. This means the floor price of your DN44 NFT is always tied to the trading price of the token on exchanges, adding a new layer of flexibility and accessibility. So where you can buy DN44? DN44 tokens can be purchased on DEXs like Uniswap and various NFT marketplaces. First coin on DN44 is Asterix Labs ASTX, just like how the first coin on ERC404 is Pandora. And you might find this website helpful if you are looking for DN44 projects to invest in. Just bear in mind that both DN44 and ERC404 are still waiting for official approval through future EIPs. Getting that stamp of approval could really put these standards on the map. Additionally, there's currently more attention towards Pandora compared to DN44. While the technology of DN44 might be better, ultimately, it's the price that drives the hype and people's attention towards DN44. At the moment, these standards might seem more trendy meme coins than long-lasting breakthroughs. However, looking at how many NFT collections have gone from niche to community favorites, there's reason to be optimistic about the future. If these joint tokens catch on, those who got in early could really see some nice rewards and airdrops from future projects. If you ask me which one I prefer, of course, tech-wise, DN44 seems a lot more promising, but ultimately, all I care about is making this space a better place. Honestly, I don't want to get into the rivalry between ERC and DN44. I just hope we can all come together and build something constructive instead of fighting each other, especially when the overall market isn't that significant to begin with. I'm keeping a close eye on both of these protocols, and despite the differences, one thing is similar is that they both share a vision of bringing liquidity to NFTs, and that's what we investors want to hear. So there you go, that's my take. Let me know if you invested in any DN44 projects by commenting down below. In the meanwhile, if you also want more regular updates from me, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next one.